What's up, guys? Stas here. So check it out, man. SoFi stock is not looking so pretty right now. The way the charts are unfolding, we might see more downside before we get more upside. We're going to go over the charts in this video, key levels that I'm looking at, and go over how we're on the verge of potential collapse. I don't want to say it's going to go to $5 or $6 or anything crazy like that, but we could be on the verge of maybe a move back towards the sevens. We'll see where it goes from there. So we're going to break down a bunch in this video. Charts, my thoughts, all that good stuff. And we'll go over the options chain later in the video to show you guys kind of what I'm looking at right now. So if y'all find value, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. And of course, don't forget to get up to 16 stocks for Moomoo, each up to $2,000. Use that link down below or simply go to stasurfs.com/Moomoo. We'll talk more about that later. And with that being said, guys, cheers. Let's dive right into the video. So it's currently about noon on the East Coast when I'm making this video, and we have SoFi stock down about 1%. It's not the end of the world type of day for SoFi, but you guys probably know it's been downtrending for quite some time now. So now we're down another 1%, another 9-10 cents, and we're trading in the mid $8 range. Right now, you guys can see over the past 5 days, we've been declining. Just a couple of days ago, actually just yesterday in the morning, it looks like in the pre-market we were at 920, so now we're at 850. So you guys can see that decline. And on the 10-day chart, you can see it even better. And now we have a death cross. We're under the moving averages on this time frame, right? And by the looks of it, we're getting awfully close to that 820, 825, 830 level that we hit on the 7th of September. You guys can see right here, we hit 822. Then we saw a move to 920. Boom. Now we're back to 950. So we're getting awfully close to where we were back on the 7th, right? Which is, 30 cents lower from where we are now. And if that point breaks, guys, which on the 20-day chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. If we do start taking out that level here, and honestly, if we start taking this trend, this uptrend out in general, if we start breaking through this trend line, that's where things could start to break down to the downside even more for SoFi. That's the reality. I mean, at this point, we're at a moment of truth for the bulls. Are the bulls going to hold this trend line and maybe rock it off back to 9+? Obviously, that'd be great. Or are we going to push through, let's say $8.50, $8 and start to slip into the sevens, which at that point, guys, let me actually clear this drawing set and show you this. At that point on the 4-hour chart, we're going to start to see the head and shoulders play out, which you all probably remember. We've covered this before on the channel. We have the left shoulder here on SoFi, the head's right here where we hit 1170, and now we have the right shoulder right here. You guys can see that, and this goes to show, or now you can see even better on this time frame. If I zoom in, we are holding this trend line by a thread. You guys see this right here? We're holding on by a thread right here, guys, which if this breaks, again, like I said a minute ago, we could end up dumping aggressively and, dare I say, start going back to $7. And I'm not trying to freak you guys out or, flip-flop or, I get comments sometimes like, Stas, oh, you keep changing your mind on this, on that. Guys, sometimes on YouTube, you have to look past the titles. I know YouTube is an interesting game here. If I were to title it SoFi Update or something like that, it would get barely any traction. You have to be kind of poppy with the titles, the thumbnails. It is what it is, but the messaging in the content is very straightforward. I break it down, or at least I try to. I break the charts down, how they're looking like in real time, at that time, and I try and give a real update. And in this case, I'm giving you guys a real update. We're getting rejected by the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. We're under the 50 SMA, and now we're holding on by a thread again above this trend line, which needs to hold for the bulls. And if it doesn't, we start slipping under $8.50, $8. That's where we really can start seeing something like this. Maybe not so dramatic to the point where we get down to $5 or $6, but could we start slipping down to $7? Yeah, it's possible, guys. Let me actually draw this out to show you guys. Roughly $7 was the high in the beginning of March, also in the beginning of May. So that could be a gap that we do fill down. You guys see this right here? That'd be the right shoulder completing pretty much, and that'd be an interesting spot for SoFi, to say the least, to see what it would do from that point. So as of now, guys, it looks like the Bears are gaining a little bit of an edge. And mind you, all the indexes are in the red right now, so that doesn't help SoFi's case. I mean, no joke, we're down on the NASDAQ 0.9%, the Russell's down 0.3%, S&P's 0.7%, Dow's down 0.8%, the VIX is up 5%, so that's not helping SoFi. It's down 1.1% now, so SoFi's down more than all the indexes. Not a surprise at all, to be honest. You guys should know that. But it's going to be interesting to see really what happens at this trend line right here. So with that being said, guys, let's dive into the options chain and look at some puts, calls, see what's going on there. And actually, before we do that, don't forget to get up to 16 stocks for Moomoo, guys. I'm telling you, this is the best promo right now by far. Just use that link down below or simply go to stocksurfest.com/Moomoo. Once you guys open up your account and fund it with your initial $100 deposit, you get 5 stocks right off the bat. And fund it with at least $1,000, you get 10 more stocks, totaling 15 stocks. And listen to this, guys, fund your account with at least $5,000 on top of those 15 stocks for a limited time. You also get a free share of either Tesla stock or Google stock, which makes this promo a no-brainer. So what are you guys waiting for? Use that link down below. And with that being said, cheers. Let's dive into the options chain and see what in the world is going on here with SoFi. And full disclosure, guys, I'm not a big, options trader. I don't want to sound like I'm, a big options guy where I'm buying calls and puts every single day. That's not the case, but I do like looking at the options market pretty often here to see what's going on with individual stocks that I'm looking at, especially ones like SoFi that do have a lot of volatility, and quite frankly, it makes for pretty good content as well. It's pretty fun looking through the options chain here, guys. And one thing worth mentioning as well, I'm a big fan of selling options. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that or know what that is. I actually have a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel talking about selling covered calls. Go type that in, selling covered calls. My name, Stocks Talk Stocks. You'll find a bunch of videos on it. But I like selling options more than buying options. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. In other words, if you're selling options, you're more like the casino in a sense. But if you're buying options, obviously, you're the one that's gambling on the, essentially, you're playing roulette, you're playing blackjack, poker, right? That's kind of the idea. But again, go check out the video on that. Go type in my name, selling covered calls. You'll see a bunch of videos on that. But overall, at this point, guys, I'm not looking at anything that's expiring on Friday. That's in 3 days. I'm not a big fan of going that, short in terms of time span. But let's see what we're looking at. If we go, let's say 30 days out, October 20th, what are we looking at for calls right here, guys? So buy call, okay, expiring October 20th. We're looking at the $9 one right now is 38 cents. So if you were to buy a contract, guys, you're looking at $38. So the idea behind options here is you don't need as much money up front to go and make a move, right? It's obviously a bit more risky. It's way more risky. There's a lot that goes into it. There's, of course, we have the expiration date, which means there's time, or there's a time limit on, this stock making the move you think it's going to make, right? In this case, $9 strike price. Do you think it'll go to $9 or more by October, 20th? If you think so, all right, this trade might make sense, right? There's a lot that goes into it, but all right, that's not bad. And if you're selling these options, let's say, for example, you own 100 shares of SoFi as collateral, right? And you want to sell, let's say, the $10 calls. All right, you can do that, and you'll gain 16 cents or $1, or not $1.60. Geez, my math, guys. $16 for just selling, covered calls, right? And you collect the premium. That's why I love selling. I love selling options, guys. Let's say you own 1,000 shares of SoFi. Think about this. You own 1,000 shares of SoFi at $8.50. So what is that? $8,500. All right. So let's say you want to sell the $10 calls. You own 1,000 shares, right? So for one, it's $16. So multiply that by 10. You would be able to get $160 for literally doing nothing but just doing a little work here on the options chain, which is really easy after you get the hang of it. But that's kind of the point of selling options, which I keep going back to that. I love selling options, if you guys haven't been able to tell by now. But, it's a great way to make money as you hold on to your stock, and there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, look, you could potentially lose your shares, meaning, let's say you own, you own SoFi at $8.50, and, you sell the $10 calls. if the stock goes to $11 before the expiration date, guess what? You're going to have to give up your shares at a predetermined price, which in this case is the $10 strike price. So you do make profit on your shares, but not as much because it went up to 11. So you kind of missed that 10 to 11 dollar move because you predetermined or you sold your shares at $10 because of the contracts that you sold. That's part of the agreement. But you keep the premium, right? You keep the premium, and there's a strategy called, what the heck is it called now? My mind today, guys, is all over the place. It's called, oh my gosh, the wheel strategy. Yeah, the wheel strategy. That's a great way, to get in the options game. But overall, guys, I'm looking at the $9.50 to $10, or maybe not the $10 range, but $9.50s would be interesting here for calls. Maybe let's see, maybe not even 30 days out. I'm looking more maybe 59 days out here on SoFi. Notice how the longer you go out, the more time there is on your side, the more you're going to have to pay in premium. That's how it works, right? The more you have to pay, the further you go out. So if you want to do $9, all right, for, let's see, November 17th, you're going to have to pay up about $74 for a contract, and boom, you can get in that play. And again, to sell contracts or sell covered calls, you need to have 100 shares of a particular stock as collateral, and maybe I'll do more videos on that. But again, I have a bunch already in the backlog. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here, guys. I don't want to drag this video too long. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. It is free. And guys, do not forget to follow me on Twitter at Stas Talk Stocks. Link down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one.